A lot of things are changing in the Southern Tier. Of course, the bad news, of course, was the closure of 5 Mile Point Speedway, and that has had some ripple effects throughout the community. One of those has been what's going on at Afton, and I've got promoter Ronnie Ford with me on the phone. They are moving to Saturdays. They've been Friday for as long as I can remember, but they will be Saturdays. Ronnie is getting ready for his 8th year as promoter back in 2023. He is actually in the town of Afton right now. Let's see, it's about 3:45 here on Thursday. You guys getting this in just a little bit later. How we doing, Ronnie?
I'm doing good, Doug.
How was the season? I didn't get a chance to see you guys this past year. How was it?
Well, we had a relatively good season. I mean, we could use a little more fan in the grandstands, but car counts were good, and the racetrack was good, and we had a fair year.
Okay, glad to hear that, because really, coming into 2022, I was very concerned, and I know you were too, about car counts, probably more so than the fan counts. So and I got to give the racers a lot of credit for doing what they did to get out on the racetrack. It was amazing what they did this past year as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with the price of things and just everything out of control, to be able to maintain and race a race car every week is actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, with tires and part shortages and things. So my hat's off to you, and I'm sure Ronnie's hat is off to all you guys, too, for an amazing job coming out the racetrack and doing what you did. So I would think the move to Saturday is probably related to what I talked about first, 5 Mile Point. Is it almost that simple?
Yeah, that's as simple as it can be. Like I said, nobody wants to see a racetrack close, but
No.
The Southern Tier is pretty saturated with racetracks, and we're going to make an attempt to go to Saturdays. And actually, we always hear the old story: these racetracks don't work together.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to team up with Penn Can. They're going to run Friday nights, and we're going to run the same divisions, the same rules. We got some things coming up. We're going to try to maybe do some combined point funds, and you win at Penn Can Friday night, you're going to get into Afton free Friday night, and vice versa. You
really?
win here Saturday night, the driver's going to get in free at Penn Can the next week. So we're trying to do some things to help the drivers and promote it and work together and see if we can get the car counts up at both tracks and have a good year.
Does this affect the classes that you run and that they run weekly?
Well, we added 4-cylinders and 600 modifieds, which they had in the past. We run a limited sportsman class, and they're going to actually add that this year.
Is that like a novice, basically, is what that is?
Yeah, it's just a crate car with novice drivers.
Okay.
Yep.
And everybody seems to be doing that. I think that seems to work out well pretty much across the board, doesn't it?
Yeah, you get some of the younger kids and younger people or inexperienced people that get a chance to get out there and get some laps in and maybe not be running in a 20 or a 22 car field. They got a little more room because we're building the class. The car counts weren't quite as good, so it gives you a little more space and a little more area to move around and just get comfortable.
And the other thing, too, like you and I were talking about earlier, I think I've even seen it like with microds and quarter midgets to some degree. There's a lot of people that are foregoing a lot of those traditional first and second race cars and just going right to sportsmen with their kids, aren't there?
Yep, absolutely. And once again, that gives them a chance to, get a little more experience with maybe not the savvy veterans out there, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and also a chance, is also not to get in their way, too. So, because if you
right,
look at,
exactly.
Yeah, because if you look at Fulton, for example, I'm going to use that because they were one of the first tracks to really do that and make it work. You look at lap times in novice versus the full-fledged sportsman, and it's a pretty big difference. And when you see the drivers move up who won, they're lucky to finish in the top 15. There is that much of a difference skill-wise and knowledge-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I guess if you really look at it, that could if they're running in the lesser division, it's a confidence builder. If they can win a race and, win a race versus finishing 15th, that's a big difference.
Yeah, because I've always believed, and I'd like to hear your take on this, I believe you have to learn how to win. When you're out front and you're halfway through and maybe you see somebody peek a nose under you, that's what I think these novice and, like you called it, what did you call yours again?
We're calling them limited sportsmen.
I think they learn that in that, and I think you shouldn't move up until you've won, no matter what division you're in.
Yeah, that's really not a bad idea, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's people out there that haven't won and probably won't, and they could have won if they started out. And like I said, it could be a confidence builder. You could get the confidence to be able to do it.
Yeah, like I remember guys used to tell me this, and I only raced 1 year, Ronnie, but the guys said the first time you see a clean racetrack when you've never seen one before, it is strange, and it really is. I remember the first time I got out front, I'm looking around, I'm going, well, where are my marks? What am I doing? There is something that is a learned behavior as well, right?
Sure, absolutely.
And the other thing it does, and this was something I learned early in racing, you got to have a step ladder. You got to have divisions for people to begin in, move up to, and when you have the limited or the novice, then you've got the sportsman and then the mod, the ladder's right there.
Yep, absolutely. And like you say, the days of the street stocks and stuff, they're just, we've dropped the street stocks. There's just no car count.
Yeah.
So you're losing some of them divisions that have been there forever, so they got to go somewhere.
Yeah, 30, 40 years ago, you could get a car at a junkyard or something and get a local auto parts store to sponsor you, and you had everything you needed. And those days are gone. So
long gone.
Long gone.
You're probably lucky if you can do that with a four-cylinder
Exactly.
anymore, the way that people are trying to do things.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, with a lot of the front-wheel drive four-cylinders, you smack into the wall with the front end pretty good, and the car's toast. So it's not like the ones.
Yeah, it's not like you got a frame and it's
right.
all unibodied or basically tin almost, really.
Yeah, you hit that right front of the wall, and the car's toast. It's done. There's no fixing it.
Yeah.
Said you're looking at slingshots and maybe, and this is the division we haven't talked about in a while, IMCA possibly.
Well, we do run slingshots every other week.
Already.
Okay. we have kids and stuff that the parents maybe don't want to race every week, so we've gone to an every other week, and we just got approached by Jake Maynard about he's trying to find an IMCA track, and they would run every other week. So I don't know. I've never got a lot of support from IMCAs, but we're going to talk to them and give it a look, and we possibly could go with IMCAs every other week.
So if you're interested, guys, and I keep hearing this from a lot of you at the track, why aren't they running IMCA? I wish more people ran IMCA. Give Ronnie a call. Reach out to him. He's on Facebook. Of course, they have a page there. Of course, you can go to the website, and if you really want his number, get a hold of me. Send me a message. I'll get you Ronnie's number. You can give him a call because you really need to gauge what the interest is before you jump into this pool.
Yeah, I mean, we've ran like street stocks a couple years. You're getting 5 to 8 cars.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to have 5 to 8 cars, and people sitting in the grandstands, they don't want to see 5 cars come out and run a heat and 5 cars come out and run a feature.
No.
So, I mean, if we can get a decent car count and maintain it, we may give it a try.
All right, so again, look for them on Facebook. What is the website again, Ronnie?
It's www.AftonMotorsportsPark.com.
All right, so reach out to them that way if you're interested. And, of course, there's a lot of good things, like we said, coming up here in 2023. We're going to miss 5 Mile Point Speedway tremendously, but, again, the things change, and hopefully this will be a change for the best. I wish you all the best, man. Please keep in touch, and when you have that meeting and you get some other news, please reach out. We'll get you back on and tell everybody all about it.
Okay, Doug, I appreciate it, and hopefully you get down to see us this year.
I know. I'm going to make sure I do that. So, again, the big move, they're coming to Saturday. They'll have a couple midweeks. I'll be down for one of the midweeks. Ron, you take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Okay, Doug, thank you.
Hit that blue E, guys. Subscribe, that way you don't miss anything. It's basically Doug's Dirt Diary on YouTube.